So I told my friend that I would record the first part of the story that I'm writing. So, here we are. I'm trying to do a different voice here. Alright. I woke up at the start, laying on the wet floor, my face first in the muddy water as the rain soaked me head to toe. Sitting up, I glanced around, wondering where I was as deafening screams and childlike whispers floated throughout the air. The smell of rotten flesh making me gag as soon as I lifted my head. The sky was a dull red as the moon shone through the tree branches, leaving me in the middle of the pale light. My body ached as I stood up, wiping myself down. This isn't so bad, I thought to myself. Everything's going to be fine. But boy, was it not fine. I started to trek through the mud and grass. I wasn't too afraid. I had been in scary places before, but this is not something I never thought I'd see. As the rain hit my face and the wind howled through the leaves of the trees, I started to ponder to myself, how did I get here even? I muttered under my breath, the cold biting me like a bunch of tiny bugs. I stopped in my tracks as I heard another set of footsteps approaching me. I slowly turned around, facing the entity. Oh, it's Elmo. It's just you. I sighed in relief. Finally, a familiar face. Oh, so I thought. His eyes were a pale white. No emotion in his face at all as he just stared at me. Hello? I waved slightly, but as I lowered my hand, his body started to change. I covered my eyes and hoped it was all a bad dream, that I wasn't hearing his bones snapping and breaking, that it was all a joke, but when I opened my eyes, I nearly gagged at what I saw. His body had completely broken, his neck snapped, and his arms and legs like a spider's. His expression was just a wide, unsettling grin. That's not Talno, I realized as I backed away, the wet leaves and grass sticking to my shoes as I turned and ran. I could hear it chasing me. I could feel its grin digging into my back. What did it want from me? And why was this happening to me? I didn't stop running until I tripped over an upturned root and fell flat on my face. I didn't dare to look back, as a low growl came closer and closer. The next time I awoke, I was laying on my back. The rain had stopped, but the sun wasn't rising. All I heard was a concerned, kind of high-pitched voice as I opened my eyes and groaned. What happened? I asked as I sat up, rubbing my now sore head and eyes. You were passed out on the ground, and I didn't know what to do. Are you okay? Are you hurt? What happened? The voice spoke up in a panic as I glanced at them. He seemed familiar, but I just couldn't put my finger on it. I'm fine, I muttered. What just happened? Did that creature really chase me? Had I been dreaming? No time to ask. How did you get here? The cat-eared boy asked, his dull eyes flickering with curiosity. I don't know. I just woke up here. I looked around. Everything was the same as before I blacked out, but where's the creature? Oh. Well, are you hurt? The boy asked again. I guess my head hurts a bit. And my back. I mumbled as he suddenly checked my back as I said that. Whoa, hey, what are you doing? I yelped as I felt his cold hand run down my spine. You've got a cut, he muttered. It's not too big, but it looks deep. Ooh, purple. Don't mind that, I half yelled, grappling a low branch to pull myself to my feet. My legs felt weak after what just happened. I still remember its face. Telno? Why was he here? What happened to him? Were all my friends like that sick, twisted freak of a creature? I dare not ask. So, what's your name? The boy questioned as he bandaged my back whilst I sat on a log. Elliot. My name's Elliot, I mumbled. I was still exhausted. Oh, that's a pretty name, the boy exclaimed excitedly. I swear I remember him. As I lifted myself to my feet again, I stared at where I saw the creature. I could feel someone staring right back at me. I couldn't shake that creature out of my mind as me and the boy trudged through the darkened woods. The boy chatting away about things he's seen and done. I didn't know if I should trust him, but he's the only normal person here, so it's worth a shot. As the boy led me to a small safety hut he had crafted himself, he wandered into the hall. I stuck my hands into my jean pockets as the boy wrapped a blanket around me, setting me down and telling me to get some sleep. And so I did. As I drifted off to sleep, those whispers returned. I ended up having the worst nightmare ever, just being surrounded by those creatures, all of different people. No, not. The whispers in my ears grew louder as I tossed and turned in my sleep before waking up with a scream. What? Are you alright? The boy came running in as I glanced over. Yeah, I'm fine. I just had a bad dream, I grumbled. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I have a thingy to keep bad dreams away. The boy handed me a stuffed animal. A cat, more rather. A plush toy? I asked as I held it close to me. Yeah, his name is Snuggles. I thought he could come in handy in case you needed him, so his words were cut off as I lay back down and fell asleep again, cuddling the dog close to me, both out of fear and comfort. When I awoke, the sun had not risen. Guess the sun doesn't exist here, as it was the next day. The boy came skipping in, happy to see I was awake. So, how did you sleep? Did Snuggles help? He asked gleefully. When I came in to check on you, you were out like a light, even snoring a little bit. I felt a bit embarrassed, but smiled weakly as I nodded. I slept fine. And Snuggles did help. Thank you. No problem, he smiled with pride as he looked out the window. What's wrong? I thought I heard something, he muttered. His happiness had disappeared. The creatures are real? I asked with terror. You got attacked by one too? The boy turned around, his face pale with fear. And that's where I left it. I am currently still working on finding ideas to carry it on, so it probably won't take too long for me to start up with the next part. Although if you did hear cut-offs in the audio, I did have to pause the audio and keep going, because otherwise my phone would turn off, so that's not a fun thing. And also, if you heard me stuttering, I'm sorry. I'm not used to reading that much. Hold on, I got a notification. But I'm not used to reading that much, so yeah. Yeah, my friend told me to do this, so that. Oh my god, that's fun. Anyways, happy late Easter. This is a pretty weird Easter story. And I will update you once I have started on the other part. So sorry for the audio cut off, by the way. My recording was glitching.